Lil Nas X alone.
Well, hello. Welcome to a brand new episode of Wednesday Night Kiki. I'm your host, Chris Avalon, and yes, we are going to be talking about all the latest trending hot stories and all the stuff you may have missed within the past couple of days. So we're going to be talking about DMX. We're also going to talk about the Gay Bachelor. That was a big story that happened today, and a whole lot more. But without further ado, let's bring in Mr. EJ Parker, host of DTA Podcast and co-host of Host Chat Live, which you can listen to every Saturday from 12 to 2 on All Digital Radio Network. You can also listen to my podcast too if you feel like it. It's on it comes on at from 2 to 4 on All Digital Radio Network, as well as you can check all of the streaming platforms like iTunes and Apple Music and Spotify and all those good things. Yes, I was there. Just Google Chris Avalon Show. It pops up. 6 seasons in, y'all should be listening to a bitch and supporting me because the support definitely goes a long way. So without further ado, let's bring them on in because we got a lot to talk about. Come on in, Mr. EJ Parker. How you doing?
Hi.
I knew he was going to do that. Oh, she got her corona. The funny part is you got your corona and I just finished mine.
On deck, buddy. You already know. Hi. What is the tea, y'all? We are back for a brand new episode of Kiki. Chris and I, and just giving you guys the latest tea. But yeah, so what a week. What a lot has been going on. And I guess we had to come on and give our take on this. We got a lot of topics to get to, and then you're doing another video later on your YouTube channel, which we'll talk about a little later. So a lot of content coming to you guys. But yeah, so how was your week?
Yeah, brand new episode on the line after. My week was very interesting. It was a little slow, due to the rain and all. But of course, I had to deal with there was a Karen situation at my job.
Oh no.
Yeah, I work a essential job outside of this one until, y'all start paying and shit. And I can start making some money from doing the YouTubing and the podcasting and all this stuff. I'm going to start focusing more and doing a lot more shows so that way I can get to that point. But overall, I've had a very eventful week. It's been a very interesting week so far. I've been looking for a lot of entertainment news. There hasn't really been a lot going on that's been trending, except for, the unfortunate killing of this kid who was 20 years old by a cop who apparently can't tell the difference between a taser and a fucking gun. Really, bitch? Really? We supposed to believe that? But these people have so many goddamn experiences. It's like, so y'all never were trained to know the difference between what weapons y'all have and where you place them on your body, and that how the taser's on one side and the guns on the other side. But look, this is not a political show, so we're not going to really go there. We'll save that for another day. Other than that, yeah, it's been a very interesting week. It's been a lot going on. Between working and running around and so much other personal business endeavors that I've been focusing on and trying to get in order, because I have another show that's premiering next month with Lindsay and Remy. So it's definitely something. Yeah, so I have another show coming on right after Wednesday night. So yeah, there's a lot of developing things that's happening. And the stars are aligning. This is something that, look, I'm not complaining about the busyness, because this is something that I've asked for. It's what I wanted. The universe, when you put it out in the universe, and I can attest to this, it comes back to you. It may not come the way you want it, but it comes nevertheless. So yeah, so that's basically it. Well, how have you been so far? I know you've been working on a lot of editing and things.
Yeah, I've been basically doing that, and I got my other show, as you mentioned in the opening, and my mind has been on this tragic situation too. Not to sour the moment, but it has been everywhere, and it's like you cannot not face it. So, but yeah, other than that, just trying to compartmentalize it all, and especially with also the trial going on, George Floyd. So, and that's not this kind of show. So, looking for stories was a lot, because even like some weird stuff was covering it, even with, we still got the whole AAPI hate going on with the Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. So, it's a lot going on that's intersecting with pop culture, but the stories we got today are actually good enough to do a good show. And even with you later, you got some really good stuff that's been going on, and some entertainment, some of the whole urban culture, whatnot. So just here to just sit back and give everyone a good moment.
And let's give a shout out to Dijon, bitch. She's in the building. My sister Dijon is here. Oh yeah, I saw your post about I don't know why I want to call him Colton Ford. So damn bad. I saw your post about Colton Underwood and saying how Colton Underwood is getting all this praise, and they're trying to cancel Lil Nas X. So I don't know if you kind of agree, because I know you and your baby daddy is a Lil Nas X fan. So I don't know if you're saying that, but we're going to get into that, because we are actually going to talk about the Gay Bachelor. That's one of our topics. Right. And we're going to talk about DMX and mental health and all this stuff. But yeah, I want to give you all a preview of the stuff I'm going to be talking about on the line later. I'm going to be talking about the Red Table Talk with Bobby Brown. That was it was a really good episode. I want to break that on down. There's a lot of insight into that. And then I'm going to talk about Justin Timberlake and this whole drama that's behind the scenes with him and the whole Janet Jackson debacle. So I'm going to be talking about that. And there's some exclusive tea that there's a documentary in the works regarding the Janet Jackson Super Bowl thing, and the people who are behind it. Child, I'm gonna save that for the other show. And then I want to talk about also Dwayne Johnson and his whole White House run and all this. So what I think about that, celebrities running for president. And then from Flex.
Let's talk about that in the trending stories with Dwayne Johnson, because
is that one of your trending stories? Because you don't never tell me.
It will be today, because
and then I have a story of Funkmaster Flex is throwing shade at Cardi B, calling her a terrible rapper. So I'm gonna say that, and I gotta go on him. It's funny how it's like, but that liposuction also, his mind must have went with it. So
that was all.
We'll talk about that and a whole lot more.
Yeah, I definitely want to chime in on the Rock thing, so we can definitely talk about that here, because I cover the professional wrestling, so I think this is an interesting conversation, and also I do the host chat live with my man's DJ, and very political there, so I think this is definitely interesting and definitely a conversation that, listen, he's not going to be the only one. So that'll be something that we can definitely add on, I guess, as we close out the show. But you brought him up. You spoke of his name. You spoke of your Dijon, the comment about him being Colton. Now let's get to the story that everyone is talking about. And before we get to this story, I just want to say, um, I'm gonna be the nicest. I'm gonna say this the nicest way. Um,
Yeah, you be the nice one because I got something to say. But go ahead.
right. I can't. Here are this week's trending
This is my. I
stories,
was gonna say this is
guys.
my subtle shady face.
The most trending stories of the week. If this video play, it is not play. Where there you go. Yeah. So the most trending stories of the week, guys. And we're gonna kick it off here with the one and only Colton James. I'm James Colton Underwood. As you guys heard.
First of all, I'm
Yes.
sorry, but anybody named Colton should automatically be equipped as a homosexual. Like we have
I can't.
Colton, we had Colton, this Colton, whatever his last name is. I don't watch The Bachelor, nor do I care about that bullshit ass show tailor made for boring ass middle aged housewives and dumb white bitches. That's basically what that show is for. No shade to the white community, but let's call it what it is. Saltines and people like Wendy Williams watch the damn Bachelor. And Nutmeg McCain over at the damn View. Also, yeah, we have Colton Haynes, gay, from Arrow and the rest of them shows. He was a big old. First of all, he had gay face, so we already knew she was a big old faggot. Then you got Colton Ford, the porn star, and now we got Colton Underwood. So anybody named Colton, automatically you're gay. Come out wherever you are. I had no idea he was a football player. That he was in the NFL because I don't care about the NFL, on account of Colin Kaepernick. But it was, and you know what? It's great that he came out as a homo. But they also said that he's also been inked for his own reality show, which is about to appear on Netflix, and is going to follow the life of Underwood living publicly as a gay man and athlete, and is already in production. And I guess that's why he came out because, with all this, he wanted to come out and say it before reports started to spill his tea. Like, oh, what you filming? What you doing? What's going on? And then the TMZs get it before he comes out and say it. But speaking of TMZ, several other prominent members of the LGBTQ plus community have been in Colton's corner throughout his process and are expected to make appearances on the series. Stating, obviously this year has been a lot for a lot of people, and it's probably made a lot of people look themselves in the mirror and figure out who they are and what they've been running from or what they've been putting off in their lives. This is what he told Robin Roberts. And he says, for me, I've ran for myself for a long time, and I've hated myself for a long time, and I'm gay. And he said that he was also, for those who don't know, he appeared in 2018 on The Bachelor, and then he appeared on Bachelor in Paradise season 4 before leading The Bachelor season 23 the following year. So he was a Bachelor twice.
Yeah.
And quiet as it's kept, even though I don't watch the show, everybody was saying like they kind of sensed that he was a friend of Dorothy. So this is not news, I guess. It's always funny when people come out and say they're gay. They were like, "Oh, we've been new." That's like if tomorrow, Tim Tebow or Shawn Mendes decide to come out, girl, we've been new. Like, who you fooling? And all jokes aside, I'm glad he's living his truth. I'm glad he's on. And they said Gus Kenworthy is going to appear on there, But it's like he's going to be. I forget what's the phrase. They said he is going to be some sort of his gay guide. Okay, really? In 2021, we need gay guides. So he's basically, oh, please. I wouldn't be surprised if Chodrick Hall does did y'all ever see that porn video on Twitter of the guy that was dressed as Spider-Man, had a hole in the back where his asshole was available, and he did a full backflip, because Spider-Man is very athletic. So he did a backflip on the penis. That's what I see Chodrick Hall doing to that white dick. I don't make the news. I just report it. That's just what I feel, in my opinion, he's going to do.
Okay.
But nevertheless, the gay guy thing, I'm just like, really? So you just going to point? So so now you are the ambassador of all things homosexual. So you're just basically just going to be his fairy gay father,
basically.
running around trying to show different aspects of what it is to be a homosexual, so that way the straight community doesn't feel a ways about you. So that way you get, you represent the LGBTQ community in a positive light. Like similar to when we had conversed, not necessarily on live on camera, but what we said was behind the scenes when I told you about the video T.S. Madison did.
Mm-hmm.
Where she was on Maddie in the Morning, and she talked about how, like, with the success of the show and everything that was going on over with the We TV series,
right.
how what was it, Glad hit her up. It was somebody, well, now that eyes are on you and you're on mainstream television, we need to talk to you and have a conversation with you on how you could better represent the community and how you need to say this thing and act this way. And, we already saw on this show this season how they were trying to steer her in one way. She's like, at the end of the day, my gut, I got to be myself. I understand I have a big responsibility now, but I have to, at the end of the day, I have to be me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I I think it's a little it's tough. When you're on television and you're exploring your sexuality, like, and I mean, he's a sweetheart, so it's like you kind of already, like watching the season that he was on, like, I kind of, he's a adorable one, and like I didn't really see him with any of the girls either, but I wasn't like on social media attacking him or trying to force him to, and clearly he didn't either. Like he said in the interview, like, he really thought that this was his way of God giving him his sign to, like, to not be what he hated the most. So, and I think we can all relate to that. And the fact that he did this publicly on television.
I was just being shady for shady's sake. Of course, you got to bring it balance.
Right.
I just felt the need. I just throw my reads in because it's just like cue eye roll. But okay, I'm glad you came out. Whoop-de-doo. I know everybody has to come out on their own time. People need to become who they are. I get it. He was raised Catholic. The Catholics, don't even get me started on organized religion. And that big old fraud, what that is.
Isn't it ironic on how, you bring up the Lil Nas X situation? Like, it's ironic on how, we demonize Lil Nas X for putting blood in the shoe and then say.
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
And and then now we got this gentleman coming out here and, like, take the whole race part of it out of it, like, but
so in so many ways, what we're saying is that what you're insinuating, Dijon had a point with his post on Facebook where he was stating that they're coming for Lil Nas X, but they're trying to come at it differently where it comes with Colton Underwood, and it's sort of like the thing that they have in common is religion. Lil Nas X decided to take the hypocrisy of organized religion and throw it back in the faces of these so-called Christians by incorporating the visuals that he did with the Montero video. Oh, you said I'm going to hell? So I'm going to slide a stripper pole on down there. I'm going to give the devil a lap dance, and I'm going to break his neck. But you wasn't paying attention to the whole video where there were elements of different things about religion that was incorporated in the video, which I explained on, I don't know if it was Wednesday Night Kiki or if it was on the line, but I did a whole breakdown of, some of the things you may have missed in the video because everybody was all of a sudden so appalled by that one scene that you wasn't paying attention to everything that led up to that moment. Y'all just focus on the most controversial bit and want to be up in arms with your fake outrage, but you wasn't really paying attention to the artistry and the creativity of the video and the thought process that goes into it. Because everybody's, for the most part, most people's thought process is about as deep as a pond. Let's be clear. So, with Colton, it's understandable how it's like, oh, I'm a virgin and I'm coming to terms with stuff. And I guess, he thought maybe going on The Bachelor would be a way to pray the gay away. that would make him straight. So maybe he thought about going on that show, it would help the process. But at the end of the day, you are who you are, and you cannot run from who you are as a person. If you love someone of the same gender, that's just a part of who you are. That's not all of who you are. It's a part of who you are. And people need to respect the fact that, you know what, there are going to be people that are different than you, that boys love boys and girls love girls. And it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely agree with you to definitely, I think it's what we're seeing is that everyone, it's a spectrum, sexuality is a spectrum, it's something that we all in life go through, and some people are more certain than others, and that's okay. And some people are not, and some people it take longer to find that path. And we can have our judgments, because it's hard not to. We all say don't judge, but child, it's hard to sit there. Okay, well, you waited too long. Fine, fair. That's fair to say, but it's also fair to also understand that that's their journey. What I don't like is that, I was watching a certain show today, and I'm not gonna call no one out by names, but she was the only black lady on this show, and she gave me a very nasty tone towards Colton, and specifically our community, and how black women feel when anyone come out of the closet. Well, he went on this show with all these women. Why couldn't he find that out before then? Oh, that's a very good question. Didn't he just tell you?
Who said that?
Article? Did you not see the video?
Who said that?
Well,
was it The
View? No, it was it was, I was watching Daily Pop on E, and it happened to be the one and only Kim Whitley. And I love you, Kim.
Oh, you mean Jack Hayes' stunt double? Okay.
Well, right. And I love her, but she kind of triggered me with that, like, because it's just like that was the same conversation I had with DJ on our first episode of this season 3 of Host Chat, like when we spoke about the whole, at that time it was Andrew Gillum at the time coming out as bisexual after his incident, his situation, getting busted in that Florida hotel room, whatnot, and finding out what happened.
With the porn stars and the meth.
Right, and the drugation of it all and all that stuff. But, and then, Vivica has the show on Fox Soul with the other girls, and they were very, very, very just in their feelings, and when these things happen, it's not about you. It's not about you. It's not about the women. Even though Colton apologized and Andrew Gillum spoke to his wife prior, she probably did know. That's between him and his wife. But for you to sit there and make it about you and sit there, I don't like man who does that. It was not about what you like. It's about that it exists, and it's about.
First of all, he ain't fucking you. So what she mad for? She mad for what? Nobody fucking her with her no neck having ass. And then on top of that, when it comes to the whole gay situation, do people really go on the show to find love? Y'all trying to get famous. Like, come on now. None of these relationships ever last, except, okay, Trista and Ryan, y'all are a rare breed. But other than that, y'all only going on this show for fame, the 15 minutes of fame. Y'all want the attention. You're not really in love with these people. It's kind of like this white girl with the went to the antebellum party that's going with this old cornball on this damn season. Like, who believes any of this BS is on here? And then another thing, I did hear also that they were trying to say, well, with this show, now maybe The Bachelor will want to do a gay version of The Bachelor.
Yeah.
Would you be here for that or no?
I think so. I think so. I think it depends on who they give it to. But I think I would be into it.
I'm talking about Colton.
For Colton, again, if Colton is on it, I do love me some Colton. Me and DJ was.
First of all, this is a smart lightning in a bottle moment. Like, if ABC is paying attention, I mean, now that he's gay, this is your opportunity to create a gay version of The Bachelor. Like, this would be something I would jump on immediately, especially. But then again, I look at it as like, you know what? The way they treated black people on this on The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, I can't get behind this show. Like, to me, I don't get the appeal of it. I don't understand how this show is renewed season after season. I don't know anybody who watches this mess.
I think we know how it's renewed season after season, but okay.
Well, we already said that Karens and people like Wendy Williams watch the show. You know, black women who don't think they're black, and you know, and then you got a bunch of Karens who watch The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. I don't get the whole appeal of The Bachelor. It is not my cup of tea. You know, we've tried this whole scenario numerous times, and it didn't work. But no, we really didn't. Okay, to be honest, we have not tried to do a real dating show like a gay bachelor. First of all, they had Finding Prince Charming, which was horrible. And I think they were focused so much on, we already know how Robert Sepulveda got that position. You know, when you fucking executive producers and you're an escort in real life, of course you're going to get a role on a show and never be seen again afterwards. But when it comes to shows like that, then they have the Taylor's Killer thing, and then they have one where it was like are you gay, are you straight, or something or another. I don't remember. There were just a lot of terrible reiterations, and it's sort of like it played into a lot of queer stereotypes, where it's like we're trying to trick people, and that's like, no, we need an honest dating show where someone is looking for love but entertaining. But then people would think, like, you know what, the reality of doing a gay dating show is that the contestants all got to be fucking each other, because in the world that we live in,
well, I mean,
gay men are primal animal types, and then I look and there are some people that are looking for that one person, you know, one-on-one relationship, like that whole traditional one-on-one relationship. They don't want a third, they don't want an open relationship, they don't want any of that. But the way gay men are these days, y'all want to be, you know, kissing a lot of frogs and fucking a lot of booties and doing all that other stuff to get what you need. And if you're well, first of all, you got to figure, okay, I can't get a strict bottom on here, because what if you have chemistry with another bottom?
Right. I find it interesting because, like, in this situation, you know, you got this guy here who, you know, this could be a real interesting situation if they get this right with the you know, the spin-off situation. Like, I really do like that idea, like you're saying, like, but I also agree with you that I'm not sure if it's to be the perfect thing. And to that notion, we actually have a story out here. This is courtesy of USA Today, actually, who put this out about saying that, well, someone said here on Twitter, I hated Colton's season of The Bachelor, but now that he's out, we should let him get another go and find love with the man. At Victoria Kusky wrote on Twitter. And someone replied, okay, but can we have a new season with Bachelor Colton? And the article goes on and says, but a gay season of The Bachelor, given the series' lackluster track record when it comes to representation, would likely falter. And it goes on about, you know, well, it says here about, in partly, queer dating is not the same as straight dating, and the show format doesn't lend itself to adequately exploring those differences. The Bachelor works because sparks constantly fly as contestants vie for the lead's love. But for a gay season of the show to succeed from a representation standpoint, it would need to spend a significant amount of time educating the audience about gay dating. Simply put, a raunchy reality show doesn't feel like the right avenue for that. And you know, this is exactly what you just said in a nutshell. Like, you know, we know what channel this is on, that being ABC, and clearly we know that they're not ready for the smoke that's gonna come from the conservative nuts on you know, in the middle of the country and other places in this country. Is just not,
because that's the demographic that's watching The Bachelor. The Bachelor is being watched by middle America, the same people that watch Dancing with the Stars and all those basic ass shows. Those are the type of people, and the Masked Singer.
I love this comment. I think
I agree with this. They should do a bait bus as the new Bachelor. Why not? Just like put a bunch of blindfolds on them, let them suck a bunch of dicks, and then whoever he can take down to the back of his throat is the winner. So I'm here for the bait bus version. See, I agree that, and look, we've had this conversation numerous times. Network television isn't ready to do anything different and revolutionary. This is why a lot of people are taking more risks on basic cable, on streaming services, and even on YouTube. So maybe we can get a version of a Bachelor type show with Colton, but not The Bachelor. because The Bachelor is just a basic reality show for basic people who like basic shit. So that's all. So I guess, are we done with this topic?
Well, we actually have a little bit more to add to this.
What?
Well, so we have the congratulations from the celebrities in Bachelor Nation. We have congratulations.
Oh wait, we didn't play the video. Did we play the video of Billy Eichner basically dragging him out of the closet before he was ready?
We're gonna get to that. We got it says here, you're free now, Colton. A toaster.
He's free like a damn slave from the antebellum South.
Wait, a toaster? Hold on. Oh, girl, I don't know what Andy Cohen's talking about. A toaster is on its way.
I guess that's like his housewarming gift.
I guess.
And I guess that means Andy Cohen gonna try to slide in his DMs. Oh wait, I forgot he only likes young black men. Go ahead.
Stop. Okay, so I got here. Sending Colton love, light support, and deep respect. It's real bravery to live your truth in this world. Thank you for being so open and courageous with your journey at Megan McCain. Sorry.
Yeah, why she need a new gay best friend was the contract between her and Clay Aiken running out?
That's all she spoke about this morning to connect it to the story.
Clay Aiken.
Girl, shut up.
Child, we been knew that was a big old Southern queen. We were just waiting for her to put a damn dress and a wig on.
Stop it. Coming out can be terrifying, uncomfortable, and traumatizing experience because because we still live in a world where we're made to fear the consequences of living freely. Let that sink in. So happy for Colton Underwood. His courage undoubtedly saved lives today. Dan Levy, Eugene Levy's son, Dan Levy's on the Schitt's Creek show. Welcome to the community, brother. Demi Burnett, who competed on Colton's season and has since come out as bisexual. There you go.
There's a lot of fluid people on this show.
Yeah, a lot of people are shouting him out. But to your point, we got the number one tweet here from the one and only Billy Eichner that goes on and says, where is it here? He says, I'm happy for you, Colton. If you're gay, be gay. I've been gay forever and I love it. And speaking of that, let's take a listen to what exactly went down. I don't know how long ago this was, but this was exactly...
It was during his season.
Oh, it was? Okay.
When Billy Eichner appeared on an episode where they were doing some type of relay race thing and they were supposed to win a date to go camping. I was like, okay, y'all challenges are so dumb. Like, I would watch the challenge on MTV over this bullshit any day. Like, y'all dating challenges are so stupid. But anyway, you know what? I would watch all episodes of Flavor of Love before I watch this nonsense. But anyway, so I was watching it, and then Billy Eichner appeared as a guest, celebrity guest on there, and then Colton and said basically that Billy was one of his favorite comedians, which should have been a tell, but we wasn't paying attention back then. But go ahead.
Thank you, John. Yes, I got my bottle of Corona, hunty. Yes, so we got Billy Eichner.
I had one, but I finished it.
We got Billy Eichner exposing Colton Underwood. Let's take a look. Oh, wait. Sorry, wrong video. Wait a minute.
Look for? No, the first thing I do, I'm gay. I know that's a shock, Colton. And that I think you should look into. Maybe you're the first gay bachelor and we don't even know. I no. Put that in your promo. See you later.
Yeah, he didn't know what to say after he's a cat caught his tongue, honey. So, like I always say, family knows family.
Yeah, that was rough. I'm gonna try to pull that one up again so we can actually see his face.
Yeah, because the facial reaction was very telling.
Yeah. But you're absolutely right. Billy Eichner was on it years ago, and aren't we all? We just don't want to be. No one wants to be that person per se. But it's like, girl, sometimes
we're not trying to drag you out of the closet, but family knows family. At the end of the day, it's like, girl, we know, honey. Like we see each other. In the words of Nene Lloyd.
Okay. Yeah. So it's
But what's the next trending hot story? Unless we have any more to add.
Oh wait. See, good question with this Colton thing. Um. Wait. Let me see. Okay. Yeah. So basically, not really. Just this clip here, and then we could get to the next story. It's about to load right now. But my apologies, guys. We have technical difficulties.
Look for? No, the first thing I do, I'm gay. I know that's a shock, Colton. And that I think you should look into. Maybe you're the first gay bachelor and we don't even know. No. Put that in your promo. See you later.
You know, I'd hit it. Looking at Colton, I'm like, okay, he's a cutie.
Yeah. I don't know, girl.
He's adorable. The girls will like him. And then, you know what? I would say this would be the opportunity to bring it. See, The Bachelor is so focused on the fans that they have now. But if they have issues with people of color appearing on The Bachelor, which we've seen in the comments that they have a problem with that. If their core fans have a problem with diversifying their franchise,
He basically
then those aren't your fans.
Mm-hmm.
That need to be focusing and watching the show. So if that's what The Bachelor wants to fall into, want to keep the same core fan base and don't want to branch out and try something different and new, then you know what? You'll just be at the demise of your own shit. But anyway,
basically. But yeah,
so we're going into.
Hold on. I just want to add to what because Dejan is right. He did out him, and I don't think Billy did anything intentionally. Like I think Billy was because he doesn't come off as someone who at least I think would be like, oh, I'm gonna out this guy, like
he was being a comedian.
Right, he was being Billy from the street, like the Billy that we all know and grew up with, if you will, from Jay Leno. No, well, yeah, he was on Jay Leno. But anyway, and like so, it's just it's one of those situations. But I just I feel it's over now. But I just wish he had the courage to like. Imagine if he said that right there. Like, imagine how he just came out and just like, well, yeah, I am. Because it looked like that. That's the look that he gave. That's the look that he gave right there. He gave the look of like, well, I think I am. Like, and it was interesting because Billy did hit the nail on the buzzer. And I we got to see it.
Look for? No, the first thing I do, I'm gay. I know that's a shock, Colton. And that I think you should look into. Maybe you're the first gay bachelor and we don't even know. No. Put that in your promo. See you later.
Miss King.
Ooh, child, the ghetto. But anyway, so let's move on. We're gonna talk about DMX.
Yes, let's get to DMX, honey.
So yeah, unfortunately, y'all heard that he passed away over the weekend. A week after he was in a coma because he had a heart attack due to drugs. He's had a long-standing battle with drugs for a long period of time. I talked about, at length, if you want to listen to me talk about DMX and what he meant to me as an artist, you can definitely check out on the podcast. Wait, what happened? The Chelsea Muscle Girls of the 90s era would have him mapped out, go quiet as it's kept. This is actually true. But anyway, so yeah, DMX, he passed. There was a lot of conflicting stories that was going around, that Jay-Z and Beyonce bought up his masters for a reported $10 million and was going to spread it out to his kids for free. They wound up saying it was 17 of his kids, but apparently people don't know math because he has 15 children, not 17. Not that makes it's still a lot of damn kids, but nevertheless, it was 15. So we almost had like a football field of children. And I talked about, all the stuff that was, going on with him and his battle with drug addiction. It wasn't necessarily his fault. It was that, he said that he was never someone who was big into drugs, and he wound up smoking a blunt that was laced with crack, and he got it from someone who he trusted. It was a guy who he considered a bigger brother, and it was someone that he looked up to because his mother abandoned him. He was in and out of foster care. He didn't know who his father was. So yeah, you have one of the things that I'm going to equate this with, as well as when I talk about it later on the line with Bobby Brown and talking on Red Table Talk. The core issue is trauma. Childhood trauma, like generational trauma, I guess is the word, where
intergenerational.
Where parents do things, they pass their shit down to you, and you take it on, and then you pass it down to your kids, and so on and so forth, without dealing with the core issue that is that is going on in your life. We all have something called intergenerational trauma. I know I have it from things that have been passed down to me from my parents, and things that my mother has told me, and how her mother and her parents did to her, and then you pass it down to your kids because you believe that this way is the way that you do things. So you pass things down, and then you don't realize that certain things you say, certain things you do, it affects your children, and so on and so forth. So he was never able to fight those demons, and was unfortunate that he succumbed to his demons. He wasn't able to get out of it. But, there was a lot of things that was going on in his life. I was a fan of his music. Whatever was going on in his personal life, that's between him, his kids, and his baby mothers, and all the shit that he needed to sort out. And then I saw that there was, some drama that was going on online with people were dragging Kerry Washington because of a tweet that she posted that she has since taken down, where she said, anybody else wondering what DMX and His Royal Highness Prince Philip are chatting about together at the pearly gates? My love to both of their families. May they both rest in peace. And I think a lot of people were upset because if you've heard of what went on in Prince Philip's past, we all know he ain't the one at the pearly gates. He's where Lil Nas X was in that damn Montero video. And DMX is the one who was truly a vessel for a higher being and a higher power, because we saw it through, we felt it, and we experienced it through his music and his artistry. So, DMX is up there with the big man and Aaliyah and the rest of them. And Prince Philip is elsewhere. But one of the things that definitely got to me, that I thought was really interesting, was that Azealia Banks took to Instagram to call attention to the music industry's treatment of artists' mental health. And she accused the music industry of attempting to sabotage an artist by profiting as much as possible without considering their well-being, saying you have somebody like DMX who for so long was crying out for help, crying out for effing help, letting people know that he needed help, legitimate help. And she said that she saw similarities with Banks with DMX in her own career, but she has only recently started to gain some positive traction, saying there have been a lot of times in my career where I've had fans like Azealia go get help, go to a therapist. And she said, but guess what? I couldn't afford to go see an effing therapist because I had business managers, lawyers, managers, record labels, everybody stealing my effing money, weaving this effing web that is impossible to effing penetrate. And she also went on to say that that DMX is one of her biggest inspirations, and also said that I'm saying this to record labels. If you guys are going to sign people to these lifelong contracts where they are offering up their effing intellectual property, health insurance, and the top health insurance has to be a no effing brainer. The health insurance coverage needs to last for the artist's entire lifetime. So she's talking about something that is definitely prominent in the music industry, and that is definitely about how a lot of artists should navigate, dealing with a lot of the pressures that come with this business. Like we were talking about earlier, before the show started, that Chica, who was getting a lot of praise, and didn't she recently win an award? She's going around stating that she's quitting the industry because of mental health issues. We had Chrissy Teigen leaving Twitter because people are being bullies. We have celebrities who are coming out and saying so much stuff that that they're encountering, that they're dealing with, but they can't deal with the emotional of the emotional trauma of it all, because these people online, y'all just think y'all can just say whatever to people and then we're just supposed to take it because you don't know them. And
Yeah.
while I agree, there have been many things that Azealia has said that has been problematic. I'm with her on this. So, what do you have to say about DMX and everything that's going on, and about mental health, the music industry, and what Azealia Banks had to say about, yes, the record industry? If you're making a shit ton of money off these artists, you try to hold on to an old guard that doesn't work anymore because NAFTA took y'all asses out. You need to protect your artists and stop trying to rape them in their music.
Mm-hmm. Well, I definitely agree with the whole mental illness thing. I'm not gonna not agree with that. I'm someone who deals with anxiety and depression, basically my whole life. So I definitely get what Chica is going through and the connection to DMX and stuff, and which is why Kerry Washington was basically brutalized on Twitter for her situation here, and it came off insensitive, and there was a bunch of viral memes and stuff behind it and stuff. So I definitely feel for the family the most when it comes to DMX and just you know. The legacy he's leaving behind, because that's what it's about now. And yeah, I'm still kind of feels like it's not real in a sense, like watching all these shows do their um flashbacks. Like I said earlier before we came on, Wendy did something and it hits you a certain way. So I really think about the 15 kids that he have, and in the Wendy interview, he showed one of his latest children, and he was not even like, I think, 2 years old or whatnot. Like he had been like at
Mm-hmm.
least four. I mean, at least maybe under 4 years old. Like I don't know, but it was a very young child. So it's like they got to grow up with this, and there was a lot of salacious write-ups and stuff about what he owed and type of person he was, and so it's a lot of mixed emotions, and but I do think the overall story is about the mental health of just life itself. I mean, the industry exacerbates it, but DMX had it rough at the beginning, like you talked about, the person that gave him the crack at a young age, and he never had a chance. And I think that's the reality. That's the story. That's the moment that we all need to take from this, is that the man never had a chance. And when you grow up on the streets, it's a real thing. Um, and it's crazy because that's exactly what he was promoting with his music. He was promoting someone from the streets. And a lot of people touched and connected to that worldwide. And people on the streets, they're people too, and he was the kind of like the he was like the voice for like the people who felt like they didn't belong, in a sense, like because that's what I got from DMX. He was someone who obviously people look down on, and clearly, like I said, there are people ready to tear him apart even after he's gone, and
Mm-hmm.
it's easy to do. And so Azealia Banks, she did say something right for once, and and I agree with her. Like this is something that I hope that we can continue to talk about. But unfortunately, I don't think it's gonna happen, at least not right now. But I think if we like I said, take anything from this, is that you know um, you just can't, you never know what someone else is going through, and because he looked like he was on a road to recovery, and but then looks can deceive you. And we spoke earlier before the show, we're working on next episode or whatnot, but talking about the Demi Lovato documentary, and her new album Dancing with the Devil. Like, it's so personal, just like I told you about Brandy's B7. Like, it's a love letter to themselves. And like Brandy went through anxiety, depression, wanted to commit suicide. Demi Lovato basically did and came back to life. Like it's you hear these stories and then you listen to the music and see the documentaries, and DMX didn't have a chance to tell his story like this, unless you go through diving deep, the deep journalism that's out there, and people got those moments from him. But he didn't have this chance to really, you know, convey from X to Z type thing. Like, oh, that's a good title. See, oh my god. It's tough, Chris, because it's like, these problems, we all go through it, but a lot of us don't like to face it. And I think that's what DMX was subconsciously having his fans go through without them realizing it. And I think that's the things that's the thing that I hate the most when we lose people. We start to find the nuances and who they were and things that they really were about. And I just wish that we can collectively as a society start to do better and like celebrate while they're here, because it kind of comes off disingenuous in a sense, like, but that's life. So I just hope people learn from this, but we know it's 50% of the country is not. So but
I agree.
I'm happy Azealia Banks seems to be coming around. I always have a little asterisk next to her, like, okay, girl,
Yeah.
I know you from the ballroom and stuff, and I love you down, but sometimes she says the little, she cringes a bit. But this one, she's on point, and she's someone that deals in mental illness too. Remember, she had the issue with Russell Crowe and stuff, and like, so I understand where she's coming from. But the question is, will the industry listen? And that's why I say it's definitely not going to happen anytime soon. But we on the ground can at least advocate for that as we see these young artists get into the industry. If we really love these artists, just like they're doing with Britney and stuff like that, like free Britney, we got to free these artists from these industries that they're in. And the only way to do that is to raise a lot of a voice and be hella loud and use our platforms that we do. And the only way to get things done in this country is, unfortunately, to, we got to continue the same road we're doing with everything else. Take it to Congress and have people that can regulate and make this industry safer, better, more economically, friendly, and everyone get what they can, like, because it is a cutthroat thing. Some people do not make it out of this industry, and DMX is no different than Whitney, no different than Prince. They at their core, yes, they were drug addicts. That's nothing that we're not saying that they're not. But what we are saying is that there is a deep rooted problem in this industry where they use you until they don't need you anymore. And then that's when these people go into that hole, like that just spiral. And it's really unfortunate for the fans, because the worst, as I always say, is sudden death. That's the worst. And when we lose people suddenly, all the conspiratorials and did he die of COVID? Like we saw, is it COVID? Like that doesn't matter. Someone is gone. Let's celebrate the life and let that be. But that's hard to do in this 24/7 social media kind of world. I had a rant. That's all.
It happens. And yeah, it was a lot, but I agree. It's definitely the industry as a whole needs. See, I think the music industry needs something like what the film industry has. Like the film industry has insurance. They have SAG-AFTRA, where their clients are protected by a union. And I think the music industry needs a union as well. You shouldn't be running your artist, to the point where they're exhausted, they're depressed, they wind up on drugs, they're committing suicide because you got all these yes people around you, and nobody to tell you what needs to be told. That's what I love about, and I keep coming back to it. That's what I love about Alicia, who is Bobby Brown's current wife of 10 years, because she, from when I watched the Red Table Talk video, she's been in his life around the time of when he was with Whitney and so many others. Like, she knew him back when he was in New Edition, like back in when he was like in his early 20s, I think was the age, because they said it in the video, if I remember correctly. Like, she was, I think, in her early 20s, he was like in his teens or something or another. But anyway, so she had been, and she was even at the wedding. So they were friends first before they became lovers. And she said something that I think is prominent. You need that person in your life that, insurance or no insurance. And I do think that there needs to be some type of protection for musicians in this business, because, a lot of them succumb to all kinds of shit. And then this record industry, yes, it is a cutthroat industry that just chews you up and spits you out. But there needs to be, somebody needs at least that one person in their life, like what Bobby has with his current wife, where she basically said, he had so many yes people around him, and I was willing to put his ass in check. And I feel like that's what you need. That one person was not afraid to put you in check and tell you about yourself. What are you doing? And, DMX, unfortunately, he just didn't have, he tried and he fought hard and he just, he was dealt a bad card.
Yeah, I agree. It's very unfortunate for what happened to DMX. And, the good thing is that people are definitely streaming his music, and that tends to be way more successful than they are alive, which is such a weird conversation. But then again, it's not. I mean, people are more revered when they're not here. But I just, like I told DJ when it first happened, I looked at DJ and I was like, the sad thing is we're gonna see all of this, estate issues with the money. Like that's gonna ruin, just like it did with Prince, Whitney family. We're watching the destruction of these families.
Yeah, how do you divide that up between the amount of babies, mothers? He has 15 children. Like, how you divide? Like, his estate is worth what? Like, is it $10 million? Or was that just a number that they said Jay-Z and Beyonce purchased allegedly? Because it wasn't true. Because I remember when you first asked me, you were like, is this story true about the whole Jay-Z Beyonce purchasing his musical catalog and they're going to divide amongst the kids? And I'm like, I looked online and the only people that I saw confirming this news were blogs I ain't never heard of. So I'm like, unless I'm hearing it from a Billboard or a Revolt or a Complex or any of the other major the major music trades, I don't even count Rolling Stone. Rolling Stone's a joke at this point. But as long as the major publications aren't mentioning it, then I'm just going to consider this as false. And lo and behold, the story came out, it was a rumor. So I was like, let's not just go along with that. But yeah, it is. I'm just interested to see how they're going to work this out because, how do you divide? I don't even know how much money he has because I didn't even pay attention to the other news where there was, what was it? The New York Post decided to do an article on how many homes he lost over the years. Like, why is that even important? If it was any of your favorite white legends, y'all would not have reported that story that way. Y'all always want to, show black people the negative side of them. Oh, they were troubled, or, there's certain code words that y'all like to use to describe artists, which piss me off. But it's like when it comes to your white counterparts, y'all wouldn't say that.
Yeah, it's gonna be real interesting to see the whole how this is gonna fan out. And I'm sure a lot of gossip publications and stuff are gonna be following this because it's news, And I mean, my hope is that they can figure this out. But like you said, we know that it's gonna be a fight. It's gonna be a fight because 15 children. How do you divide that and keep everyone happy? Because it's not like it's gonna be the last of it. Like the money's gonna be flowing in, so everyone gotta get a percentage and stuff, and it's tough. I mean, and this is why I don't really, I pride myself on not being from growing up with all that wealth and stuff like that, because those type of things really ruin families. And it's really sad to see how, families that once are, strong dynamic families, if you will, they tend to get ruined due to finances. And sometimes you hear the most craziest stories about people who commit the most craziest types of crimes and stuff like that, and they happen to kill off their family member or something like that. Like, these are things that happen, and I worry about that stuff. So I'm glad I didn't grow up in that realm where money controls me more than just the sanctity of life itself, in a sense. But those are the things that you come up across when you get into wealth like that. These people, I'm sure I hope they were getting something before, but if not, and this is the first time them getting new money, oh yeah, they definitely gonna go crazy, and some of them may get broke, and that's how it starts. I even worry about that about the Jackson kids. They seem to be okay right now, but it's just keep an eye on Little Blanket there. I'm a little worried, but
they're well taken care of. They're well taken care of.
Right. Yeah, they are well taken care of. You know, that family seems to got it together. But I saw a story. I don't know how did you hear this story about Miss Jackson that she's auctioning off some teens?
What, Janet?
Mm-hmm.
What's she auctioning? I mean, I saw recently she was in the studio doing a split, which is showing, I guess she's in rehearsals and maybe she's finished that, what is it called? Black Diamond album that she's been working on.
Oh.
I remember at one point she was supposed to be working with K Tronado, which I hope that's still happening. But he said due to COVID, it wasn't, things didn't work out. But I'd like for Janet to revisit that. I hope she's revisiting that. But yeah, I want some new Janet music. I hate with certain people who's supposed to be at the pulse of, entertainment news and hot topics go on and continues to push this narrative that people who are icons should not put out new music. They should only just sing the hits. Girl, have a seat.
Who you talking about?
Exactly. And my thing is, if I'm a fan of someone's music, be it a Madonna, a Janet, a Cher, anybody who is a Tina Turner. If Tina Turner at 85, I don't even know how old she is. I think she's 80 or 81. If Tina Turner in her octogenarian years wants to put out a new damn album, then she has every right to do so. If there's something in you as an artist that you feel that you can give to your fans and you want to explore your artistry at any age, I feel like if you have something to say, then freaking say it. I don't like when people think that, oh, well, you had your time in the spotlight, move on, because then I could say the same about you. Well, you clearly are phoning it in with your Hot Topics talk show. You're not really at the forefront of entertainment news and gossip that you think you are. There's a lot of people on social media, including myself, who do what you do better than you do. I don't rely on someone to bring me the tea, to keep me in line about the latest news and gossip. I actually do my research. So we could say the same about you, but you want to continue doing what you do because that check is good and you're in the contract. So I don't agree with people trying to tell someone who is an artist that they should stop being an artist. People with careers, they never stop. People with jobs actually are the ones who quit, retire, all that other stuff. So if you still, anybody who's an artist, if you have it in you at any age to want to create something, by all means, if you're 45 years old and never put out an album, you want to put out one tomorrow, put that shit out. Don't listen to these people.
Well, honey, I think you said it. If you guys have any questions or whatnot, you guys can tweet us at below right there on the lower third right here, Wednesday Night Kiki at WNKIKITV. And oh wait, is that wrong? It is wrong. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Yeah, you did spell Wednesday Night Kiki TV wrong. It's WNKIKITV.
Then you have
EJP Corner, and then you have Chris Avalon OFFI1.
Right.
Well, it's supposed to be Chris Avalon Official. It's supposed to be official, but Twitter, they want to abbreviate shit. I guess my Twitter handle is a little too long.
Well, we're gonna do that again. Yeah. So, but while we do that, Chris, I want you to go ahead and take the time to fill the girls in on what's coming on next on the line, honey.
Oh wait, wow! So what does that mean? We done with Wednesday Night Kiki?
No, just
like
okay. Filling some time.
Yes. So on the line, I'm gonna give my thoughts on the new Fast and Furious trailer. They put out a long one, almost 3 minutes, a little over 3 minutes. I'm gonna give my thoughts about that. I got the new some news on it's 2 trailers. So I'm gonna give my thoughts on the that trailer as well as the Army of the Dead trailer, which is coming. That's a new zombie movie coming to Netflix with Zack Snyder and starring Dave Bautista and a couple of other big time movie stars. We even got Raul Castillo from Looking is in there. I didn't even know that was him until I saw him with the dye job, the blonde hair. But I was like, oh yes, he's getting booked. And Then I have the story on Justin Timberlake and the whole wardrobe malfunction from Janet Jackson's infamous 2004 Super Bowl fiasco. I got some tea on Filmmaster Flex throwing shade at Cardi B, and a whole lot more. So yeah, we got some. It'll be a short, to the point, quick thing, and I may throw in some Drag Race news because word on the curb is that All Star is about to be delayed because we have
Say what?
Down Under coming out next month. I think the same around the same time as Pose season 3. So I think it's within the same weekend actually. So but I don't know what's going on with All Stars. But word on the curb is it's going to be delayed because they still haven't even shot the promos for the girls yet. So I don't know what's going on with All Stars. It's supposed to be premiered on Paramount Plus. So I got some news on that and a whole lot more that I can pull. That'll be interesting. So stay tuned. But then again, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with some news. Oh, wait. And I'm going to talk about Bobby Brown and the whole red table talk. I forgot to mention that. But we come back. We're going to talk about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson possibly running for president. We're going to talk about what went down on The Talk this week with Cheryl Underwood and Sharon Osbourne, that whole situation. And we're going to be talking about the Ush Bucks.
Oh, yes.
And the Scrippers. And all of that. So yeah, we got those topics.
Oh,
and
okay, wait. Okay, yeah, right. That, yes.
So we got those topics and a whole lot more.
Yes, all that and more, guys. You are watching Wednesday Night Kiki, and we will be right back.
So she's alleging that she says Maluma fell very much in love with Jennifer Lopez, saying that he's drawn to her because she's a 51-year-old woman. Does she remind him of his mother of some sort? Because, J-Lo was that age. Not only that, but Moni claims Lopez is just as into Maluma. In fact, they're having a secret affair. I really see that they've had a sexual relationship, adding that the pair talks about their deep love for one another all the time on the phone and on WhatsApp. Okay, girl. But she didn't stop there. Moni also alleged that in addition to being obsessed with J-Lo, Maluma was also sexually attracted to both men and loved about makeup artists particularly, or people that work behind the scenes, whether it's hair, makeup, or even in any part of the beauty situation. When you work with celebrities, you get all the good tea from them as well, because they will dish it to you. I know, because I've been on many a sets but he'd be beating your face and stuff. And this is what they got. I'm not going to ask you any of that because we don't want to be that messy. But one of the questions I want to know, because you said you work with Deb Annie, do you think she a Trump supporter? Because that's the storyline they trying to run with on that growing up hip hop.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
And I know that it's been very, very stressful as being a small business owner, and especially with COVID and all the, lack of funds for small businesses. I just want to just briefly explain how did you turn that around?
Well, pretty much, I had a lot of influences before I even opened the store. So I learned how to save money before, and so I saved a lot of money a few months ahead of time just in case of the rainy day. And I've always been that way, even the first few years in business, because I knew I wasn't going to make money right away, a profit. So I saved up. And when COVID hit, it sucked because we had to be closed right when the springtime season was about to start. It was right before St. Patrick's Day. That's when we started to pick up in the spring and summertime. So that was horrible. And not knowing when we could reopen. So we just did what everybody else did. We just pushed everything online, stuff that I usually don't have on the website, pushed it. Luckily, I did have some online sales, and my regulars that I was able to open the door and just do one-on-one, all on mask, and then they can just shop and buy stuff from me. And just the same thing, save up. We applied for the PPP loan. We did get a small sum from that, so that helped. And because we're unemployed, we were able to get that. So, we just went by, just save up, conserve, Running a business isn't always easy. Yeah, it could be fun, but yeah, you also have those panic attacks, and then you're worried sometimes because you don't know if something you get is going to sell, or how your week's going to be, and it's all weather dependent, and then that sort of thing too. And then, as we are still new, we're 5 years, but the website's 4. That's always a iffy thing too. I was going to feel safe shopping on our website, and they're not really familiar with it.
Yeah, I really appreciate you
Sort of
just.
thing. But I can recommend.
Yes, welcome back to Wednesday Night Kiki, ladies and gents. We are back here. Let me bring in my co-host Chris Avalon. We are back, honey. We are here with Wednesday Night Kiki, going through the live trending stories right now. So Chris.
Yes.
So far, so good. We went through the Colton. We spoke about DMX. You brought up your on the line situation, Hunty,
Yes.
and all that good stuff. And so you brought them up. I want you to fill people in on what the hell is going on with this story here, honey, with these Usher bucks. What is the tea?
Ooh, this is funny. So this video actually, this story came out and I was just hollering. I'm like, the buffoonery of it all. So apparently they said he went to a strip club and was making it rain on some booty cheeks with some Ush bucks, which is basically $100 bills with his face on it. But they were saying that a woman basically put him on blast, and they said not only did he throw fake money, but the fake money had his face on it, as we already know. They actually showed that he was pictured with the phony bills on Instagram. There was a photo that he had posted of him with one leg on, like one leg down, one leg up on, with his foot on one of those, what do you call it? A case.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a see-through case of money, and it had the the Usher face and everything on it. So they said it went down at Sapphire in Las Vegas, and a rep for the club that insisted that he did not tip the dancer with the fake money. He actually used real money, and that this probably was a stunt to promote his what do you call it? His residency, I guess that's coming. The rep said Usher tipped handsomely and spent thousands on dancers. Someone in his entourage left some fake Usher money behind as a joke to promote his Vegas residency kicking off this summer. So they're trying to say that they're blaming the fans, but honey, there was and now the funny part is I'm probably going to have to find it. But I had a friend who basically told me that Usher is a cheap bastard, and how this may not be that far from the truth in regards of how Usher is. They said there was one time that, if I remember off the top of my head, he basically went to, I guess he was invited to some sort of industry event. I think it was like the Grammys or whatever the case was, or one of the music awards, and how he wouldn't buy his date a designer gown and instead took her to some discount store to get an outfit. Then there was an incident that happened. He said it was 3 incidences. As I'm trying to stall to find it. because people always tagging me and shit, and I can't find what I'm looking for. But he wound up saying that there was another incident that he went to Starbucks and thought that he was gonna get so here it is. Because one of my friends, shout out to Jovan Gibson Avion, said so many stories about his cheap ass. So of course I was like, spill it, girl. So it said, I remember when I was living in Vegas and working at the forum shops, we heard from other workers that he was in town and refused to buy his woman a custom dress for the Billboard Awards that year and made her go get a discount dress. Then another time during the same visit to Vegas, he went to Starbucks at a fashion show mall on the Strip, and when it came time to pay, he refused to pay, because he's Usher. When the employee wouldn't give him the drink for free, he left without the drink. And he said the third story is when my friend was working at Saks in Beverly Hills. He was in the store and I was telling my coworkers the story mentioned above and saying, fuck him, without realizing that he was right behind me. I turned around, turned legit purple, and cackled whilst he left the store.
Wow.
So those are his 3 stories about Miss Usher Raymond. But honey, here's the gag. Now, look, Usher out here giving out herpes for free, and y'all surprised that he giving y'all fake money?
Wow. I'm just like, shout out to your friend for doing the investigation, honey. I'm just like, that is some investigatory, honey, right there. Listen, when I saw these box going around,
so if y'all got any stories about Usher being a cheap ass,
right?
Let us know, because I know, look, we all know in this business there are a lot of celebrities that get a lot of free things. That once you get to a certain status, that you don't really spend money on things, that you get a lot of things sent to you. So, you basically said, "Oh, I'm Usher." That is not a way that you're gonna get something without having to pay for it. I don't care if you were Jesus Christ coming off the damn cross. If you ain't got no money, you're not getting no order.
Okay. Yeah, it's just this is too much, honey. I can't. But Usher, if this this stunt continues, then we may have to do something else. I don't know. This for the first time is like, okay, shame on us, because the girl, she tried it, and obviously he's doing this to promote his stuff. But
so, do you believe the story about the whole? Do you believe the story that they're trying to spin?
Of what that this was?
But he actually paid them. That it wasn't him. It was somebody from his team.
No, I don't believe that. That's easy to say when people have entourages. They always take the hits. I don't believe that. I believe busted, and he was trying to have a stunt. And
why you if it wasn't real, then why are you walking around with fake Usher money anyway?
Usher's the same one from Jermaine Dupri camp where Bow Wow stays at. Do we need to say more? Girl, stunt queens, Atlanta, full of them. Yes. So and
who Diddy was sleeping with in the bed, allegedly. Remember that video from Sean Davy Way?
I'm gonna pass on that one. I am done. So let's get to this whole situation here. You brought up what's your face? What's that show? Right, The Talk. And so this past week, we witnessed the return of The Talk, and hold on. Okay. All right. There we go. We witnessed the return of The Talk, and it gave me what I wanted. It was a lot of the conversation that was needed. And I'm no fan of The Talk. Like, I'm still
me. I don't watch The Talk.
Right. Like I'm still learning with everyone else. Like ever since this whole situation, and then like with Sharon, basically saying what she said. Like I'm still in shock, to be honest with you.
What?
You know, um, but yes, but I text you when it happened and it was going live on the talk and whatnot, and um and we were conversing about what we were watching. I think you were at work at the time. And for those that don't know what happened, the talk returned uh to TV, and it was without who, as someone would say. And yeah, I first text you and I was like, okay, here we go. Like this is something that clearly, I mean, first of all, for those that thought that Sharon was gonna go unscathed and be quiet, like we
Mm-hmm.
clearly don't know, what they say, you clearly don't know a white woman scorn. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna leave it. But that's the truth though, because it's like, you know, her feelings are hurt, and rightfully so, and so she was on top of the show, that being the talk. And the reports are saying here from OK Magazine that her team was looking at the show. They were watching every move, every word. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense to me. That makes sense that they were on it, and she pays them well, I'm
Yeah.
sure. And I do believe she got $10 million, and honestly, she deserves what she got. Like, I know they're denying it because 10 million is such a big number, and maybe clearly we know, just like the View, not all of them get the same amount, and they don't want to ruffle no feathers. And anyone that worked with corporate knows, like, they don't like when people reveal their salaries and stuff like that. So it's a known PR and, excuse me, HR issue where, like, don't, it's against such and such. So, because people, especially with that high
Mm-hmm.
value checks and stuff like that, millions of dollars, you can feel a certain way if someone just came on board new. And, for instance, like we talked about, on, post show on Saturdays, we have our conversation, like, about the View, and like how, you know, certain people get paid more than others, like, and people who've been there longer. And it's really about what you bring to the show. And because we talk about this a lot, even with our reality unwrapped, segment, like, about how reality TV works. And
Mm-hmm.
if you could bring those ratings, if you could bring that, and right now it's really about going viral and social media and stuff. And before all this went down, like, no one was talking about the talk, like you said before. No one was ever considering of I mean, as far as a general consensus is, like, the entire social media realm, like, people were not talking about it. They don't trend, they don't go viral, not even the real go viral. That's the one thing that the View has.
I mean, they did recently when word on the curb was that Jeannie Mai had her wedding to Jeezy and invited none of them bitches on that
Yes,
panel to her show. I
yes.
mean, that was the
Well,
one time it went viral, but that was about it.
that and the time we spoke about on Trending Stories, where Garcelle said to Lonnie Love about, stop calling me, girl, during the quarantine, like I ain't got nothing to do. Okay. um and Lonnie Love gave the whole side eye and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm definitely, curious to see where the show goes from here. Um, but yeah, they brought her back, and I mean, not brought her. I mean, they came back to talk, and they had some psychiatrist guy there, and they were all of them. I forget the other lady, the blonde lady name. I forget her name. She's really new, but she's a beauty influencer.
Elaine,
No, not Elaine. It's a white girl, blonde hair. I forget her name.
Amanda Coots.
I think that's who it is. Yes, and she's a beauty influencer and whatnot. And they all sat down there, and Cheryl was, taking the lead and stuff, and Carrie Ann and Abba She was, doing her thing, and this guy was really good. Like if all you know is the Sharon debacle and stuff like that, like it gave you what you wanted. But if you're someone who obviously is woke, I was going to air quote it. I'm not even going to disrespect it like that. If you're someone who's woke and who knows what's going on and in tune with current events and stuff like that, that this is not enough. That this is just the typical corporate kind of let's put a little brush on it
Yeah. I totally agree with that because that's kind of like where my head was at with it. This is just some corporate cleanup bullshit. When
right.
I honestly think what they should have did was not take the 2 weeks off to investigate, do an internal investigation. I mean, y'all could have still did the internal investigation. First of all, wait, why even do the internal investigation? Y'all were well aware of the shit that Sharon Osbourne, I almost call her Sharon Stone, that Sharon Osbourne was doing. And I love Sharon Stone. That y'all were well aware of the problematic things that Sharon Osbourne has said over the years, but y'all just looked the other way. But since we're in a very sensitive time about with cancel culture and Me Too and Time's Up and stuff, now y'all want to do what y'all got to do to protect y'all asses. So in so many ways of what Sharon is saying, she was the sacrificial lamb. Yeah, you were in that context, but everything else that came out your mouth and your reaction, how you came at Cheryl, that was on you. That's something you need to take responsibility for. But we get it. A lot of you Karens don't like taking responsibility for the things that you say and do because all of your life and throughout your career, and you're the controversial one. You always say it like you mean it, and you can say certain things and get away with stuff, and it's cute because it brings the ratings. It's kind of like what I equated before. When you allow a child to throw a temper tantrum and a fool all his life, then all of a sudden when he gets to be a certain age, you're like, oh, that's not cute anymore. Why are you doing that? And then the child looking at you confused, like, well, you let me get away with this shit for so long. Why all of a sudden now it's not considered cute?
Okay.
This is basically what this situation is. So I really wish that they would have not tried to deviate from it, take the break, let everybody cool down. We were all fine. It's the network's busy, run around panicking and worrying because we don't want to deal with tough issues on race and things. But it's like, let that be a teachable moment. Y'all should have brought Sharon back and had her sit down, put some duct tape over her mouth, tie her to the chair, and let her listen to what the other women have to say. And you need to be one of those people that's in that point of, this is the moment where you sit down, shut the fuck up, and let people not educate, because I hate the word educate, because I ain't got time to educate no grown ass woman who's in her 60s about racism and knowing right from damn wrong. You're an adult with grown ass kids, and you even got grandkids, so you should know better. There's a time for you to take this as a teachable moment, and y'all could have had that back and forth conversation and come to a resolution. But like I've said numerous times, network television, whether it's The Talk, The View, or whatever, y'all not ready for that smoke. So it's not going to happen. But they did with their little Sesame Street teachable moment, conjunction junction version of race talk on The Talk. And that'll be enough for some people to swallow and move on. And then you have those people who I saw that were Team Sharon. I lost respect for Sharon. I read the comments and was just sitting there like, well, you know what? I ain't got time to entertain you fools. So
okay. Well, let's get to see who is going to replace Miss Sharon.
Who do you think?
And I don't know. I mean, you gave this list here. We got.
Yeah, someone sent that on social media. I was like, oh, you know what? Let's bring this picture in, and this would be a good topic to talk about. So, who do you think would possibly replace or could be a good replacement for Sharon Osbourne? I almost said Cheryl Osbourne. Combined the two. Is it Quad from Married to Medicine? We have Ricky Lake, the legendary talk show host. Problematic ass Roseanne, who thought the bitch was white.
I'm sorry.
Remember that video? And because that's what got her ass fired from ABC for saying that. And or the legendary Lunel.
I'm gonna go with Ricky Lake. However, if they want to go really controversial, I'm gonna say either, and I hate to do this, but if they really go really controversial, I would say either Roseanne
Or Lunel.
or Married to Medicine Girl. I think Lunel might be a little. She comes off to me for the interview she did with Wendy, little reserved. I like her comedy though, but I don't know.
Mm.
I mean, I
They
don't
would, I know
know.
they wouldn't put Lunel in there because that's like, I mean, then we could say the same thing about Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar, two comedians on a talk show. But
That's what I was about to say. I was about to say that. I know
I don't think
Cheryl does her
they're gonna do
comedy.
that because Cheryl and they like Cheryl and well, you can have different because it's a white comedian and a black comedian, two different types of comedy that they do. But if you have two black comedians, they're gonna be like, that's too much. Quad is someone who's very opinionated.
But I'm with what we said last episode. Chrissy Teigen, all the way for me, 100%. But if we have to choose out of these four, like I said, I would definitely go with Ricky Lake number one. But if they want controversial, Roseanne or Married to Medicine. That's all. That's my choice.
Yeah, I would go with. I would also go with Ricky Lake. Like Ricky Lake is someone who I grew up watching in the 90s as a kid who could not wait to get home from school and watch the Ricky Lake show. Because that was the one time that you would see gays on there, you would see drag queens, like you saw all kinds of stuff, especially when RuPaul was on there. Like I would get ultra excited when, the drag queens and stuff was on Ricky Lake show. So she was pro LGBT long before like, everybody else jumped on that bandwagon. So yeah, I'm definitely with that. Like, I like Ricky Lake. I think Ricky Lake is someone who would, but I feel like, in my opinion, she would fit in perfectly with the women on the talk, or that format. I know she's trying to come back and do her own solo talk show, but the stuff that she did back in those days and trying to come back and do something, what she did in LA, and it just didn't have the same effect. I guess she was good. In a time gone by, her era was her era, but being a part of an ensemble, that probably would work because I know she's busy doing other documentaries and she has other projects she has going on, but being a part of the talk, I think would be a good fit for her. They're not going to go with someone like a Roseanne because Roseanne is way too controversial. Based off the stuff that they just went through with Sharon Osbourne, there's no way in hell that they're going to pick her. And then, like we said, with Lunel, that's not gonna work. And I like Quad, but Quad might be a little too black for the talk. They want somebody who's black, but not black. So you can get somebody easy, easy appeals. I try not to go there with this stuff, but the way you industry people and the networks, how y'all can only tolerate a certain type of black person. We've seen it come out. We've heard it come out of y'all mouths. We've seen based on how y'all cast certain people in things. Anybody got time for it? So I'm just calling it as I see it. Cheryl Underwood is easy pill to swallow. Then you have an Quad on there who will roll her. Like if you said some shit to her, she gonna put you in check. So they don't want somebody who's gonna be deemed as aggressive or sassy or whatever, because those are certain buzzwords that they like to use when they want to keep you in check. So yeah, moving right along. Now, our last topic that we want to talk about Dwayne Johnson. So there was a poll that came out that said that 46%, that's about more than 30,000 Americans, are considering voting for Dwayne Johnson as president of the United States. Now, Johnson was 48, has been teasing the idea of a political career since at least 2017. In February, he floated a possible run in an interview with USA Today, saying that he would consider a presidential run in the future if that's what the people wanted. Well, I will speak for the people and say this is not something we want and it's not something we need. I'm tired of celebrities trying to run this goddamn country into the goddamn ground. We already tried that shit with Ronald Reagan. He done fucked us every which way but Sunday. Then y'all did it again with that orange ass shit stain that is hiding out in Mar-a-Lago because he don't want to go to federal prison. Him and that mail order whore he done married, who don't give a fuck about nobody. Do you? And then on top of that, we got Dwayne Johnson. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of Dwayne Johnson. I'm not a wrestling fan. I know you are, and you can speak to that in a second when I'm done with my little shady ass rant. But I'm a fan of Dwayne Johnson. I was a fan of his when he was a wrestler. Like I would see clips of him and stuff. But as a movie star, I'm a huge fan of his work. I like a lot of the movies that Dwayne Johnson does. I watch all his shows. I even watch the Young Rock that's on NBC, which, quiet as his cat, plays into the whole thing of him running for future president in 2030 something. And then we get a flashback based on an interview of his past as a kid. So it's funny how life is imitating art. And I do get it that this would be cute and all. But my thing is this. I'm tired. I don't want somebody that I can have a beer with or seems cool or whatever the case is. I want to know what your policies are. I want to know necessarily what it is you're going to do to help us run this country the way it needs to be run. Because everything about America ain't fiscal. And that this is not what our country is based on, is money and how to get us out of the red in certain situations. What are your issues on foreign policy? What are your issues on LGBTQ issues? What are your issues on race in America? What are your issues on police brutality and our fucked up judicial system and defunding the police and all these other things? I know that Dwayne Johnson is Republican, but he's going to have to take a stance on certain things. And if he's willing to run for president, he's got to realize that his movie career will be on the line. No pun intended. His movie career is going to be, it's going to take a turn. Well, whatever his stand is, some people outlets burn Dwayne Johnson's, posters or, whatever the case is, because whenever celebrities come out with certain political stances, we see how you fans get when it comes to someone having an opinion different than yours. I'm never supporting another Dwayne Johnson movie ever again. So just know, what he said on Twitter. He said, not sure our founding fathers ever envisioned a 6'4", bald, tattoo, half black, half Samoan, tequila drinking, pickup truck driving, fanny pack wearing guy joining their club. But if it ever happens, it'd be my honor to serve the people. Now, with him describing that, calling himself a 6'4", bald, tattooed, half black, half Samoan, tequila drinking, pickup truck driving, see, when you say all of that, that's what middle America is looking at. Oh, he drives a pickup truck. Oh, he wears a fanny pack. Oh, he drinks tequila. Oh, we do all that because we see that's a narrative that Nutmeg likes to play on the show because she's the only working conservative in mainstream media. So I have to play up the stereotype of, oh, I shoot guns and I drink tequila. There's certain buzzwords that people like to use to get y'all to pay attention because y'all don't hear nothing else. But if I said certain words, oh, tequila? Oh, I know what that is. Oh, a fanny pack? Oh, I know what that is. Or a pickup truck. Oh, I drive one of those. So it's like that's the mentality of a lot of people. Sometimes you got to put your brain, and I hate to do it because it makes me feel stupid at times. Sometimes you got to put your brain in other people's brains and try to make sense of the stupidity and why people vote the way they freaking vote. And my thing is this. As someone who pays attention to a lot of politics, I don't want another goddamn celebrity. I don't want a best friend. I want somebody who understands the policies and how the country works and is going to steer us in the right direction and not take us back to this foolishness that we had to just get out of for the past 4 years.
I definitely agree with you. I believe that I think Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is a little ahead of himself. I think he is a egotistical narcissist, which you kind of sort of have to be to see yourself running as president. But I agree with you wholeheartedly about the whole policy debate. I think most Americans are waking up to how politics work, and likability is such a white heteronormality type of conversation where it's been built in and institutionalized that I think as a society that's what we run to as first, and specifically when it comes to anyone other than white people or a man, we have to make sure that they have likability. And with The Rock, like, he is the most paid actor, he is the most likable WWE superstar, and as you mentioned, yes, I do cover this for a living with my podcast, DTA podcast, that is. But take all the whole wrestling aesthetic out of it. Like, this is real life issues. Wrestling is fake. So I'm not judging you as a wrestler. I'm judging you as a potential politician as you were saying, and someone who's gonna make policy on my life or our lives, shall we say? And how does where does he fall on the spectrum? Like, this is where it gets serious. Like, so, and after dealing with, the formerly disgraced, twice impeached, orange deranged sociopath, uh, I'm not ready to go that route ever again either. I think we need to focus on more electable people that we have in our body of Congress. We have a lot of Democrats, a lot of independents, people who are sensible, that can, bring us in the right direction. And as of today, with Joe Biden is definitely making a lot of the right decisions. Um, and I don't see I don't know if The Rock is ready to go in this direction. Like, he has a brand that's really so kind of well protected and airtight. I don't think he can really salvage any real bad press right now. And I don't think he wants to smoke. I think this is a tester. I think this is to get his feet wet out there, see what they say. The orange sociopath. He put out so many testers from the 70s all the way to when he decided to run. So it was like a 40-year fucking playground for him of just, messing with our minds until finally we saw him come down that gold escalator. So this is what The Rock is doing. This is his team. This is his management. Looking what the country's looking like and what they feel. And if it's possible, then he may just do it. And that's the sad thing about this country, as I talked to DJ about on our other show, Host Chat Live. Like, we do it to ourselves in this country because all you need is money and clearly likability, and that's really it. And if you're a man with money and success, and if you deem success as money and wealth, then you are on The Rock's side, and if you're someone like myself who grew up watching him in wrestling and now you see him transition and stuff, but then I'm also well-rounded in politics to know that it takes more than a pretty smile and some pecs to make me go sit there and pull the lever, or in this case, hopefully we get to a damn app. Could we just open our phone, vote, God damn it. But anyway.
I agree. We need something like how they vote on American Idol, like
Yes,
something basically. Let us vote on let us vote over the phone. One, and you only get to do it once. They'd have to figure out how to make that work, though.
Yeah, but
Because in this era of them trying to repress votes and all that other stuff, which is why I heard that Antoine Fuqua and Will Smith and pulled out their movie in Georgia because of the voter registration laws they trying to push down there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, first of all, why are we making another goddamn slave movie? Can we just move on from things about black pain and repressed black folk and slavery and all? I need niggas to come up with something else. Can we just stop, please?
Yeah.
Because is that and what's the other show that everybody's about? Them. I see that trending all over social media. And it's funny how, like, when DJ brought up some of the stuff that people are saying on about them. I have not watched the show yet, but it's funny, like, a lot of my pro-black friends, the ones who are very much against racism and white people doing stuff to black folk, they're all for this show. So I'm confused by a lot of the complaints that people are having on Twitter versus friends of mine who are very much, fists in the air, Black Lives Matter, that sort of shit, where they're very much, all for this show. And then I'm seeing on social media that people are against the show and calling out Lena Waithe for creating a show like them that they feel is putting black people in a bad light.
I definitely saw that story, and it definitely has a lot of legs to it. And to that notion, I haven't seen it, nor have I seen. I mean, I heard about the Will Smith situation, so I'm well aware of that. But I think Lena Waithe, she's a fantastic, actor and like director, and like she does wear a lot of hats and producer. But this time she definitely triggered some people, and I'm waiting to see what she has to say about it. I give her the satisfaction of the doubt. But sometimes people go there to hit a certain narrative or a certain kind of audience, and maybe this is her trying to necessarily go for a different market, people who I guess will not necessarily want to, but need to see those stories. And we're kind of people tied of the black pain with we spoke about earlier with the whole about we're talking about the weeks that we had and stuff with George Floyd and the two people who got tragically murdered again. Like, so it's just a lot of that going on in the real life, and these movies are nowadays are depiction of that. So I I think that's had a lot to do with it. And a lot of people can go in your corners and say get thicker skin, blah blah blah, but
Mhm.
intergenerational trauma affects everyone, and unless you're going to therapy and dealing with your issues, then you don't know exactly what you're talking about. You're just reacting to a reaction, and that's not that's not like a real like fair assessment of like trying to have a conversation with someone about the why factor rather than just throwing your opinions.
Mhm.
Like I said, opinions are like assholes. Everyone has it. So, but yeah,
Exactly.
I definitely, I hope she comes out and says something. But yeah, like I was saying about The Rock, like I just, to tie it all in the bow, like, celebrities lean away from The Rock, like just don't run for office. I heard Mark Cuban, like just stay out of it. Let these politicians that we have. I really feel like, because there are
Yeah,
so
like
many.
like, what is it? Like Diddy and Nas and Jay-Z's endorsing. What was the politician's name that I mentioned? There's a guy running for mayor of New York that they're pretty
McGuire,
much
Ray McGuire.
that they're putting their support and finances behind. Maybe that's what you guys should do. Like use your money and influence and power to support an up and coming politician rather than you thinking that you have what it takes to run this country. Because unless you're someone who's well versed on politics and you've been very in the grit and the dirt of it, like it should not be for ego purposes. Which is
Right.
why I believe that Trump ran. And quiet as it's kept, I heard that Dwayne Johnson voted for Trump. And the reason why a lot of these people
Well,
vote for Trump, and then I heard recently, Sylvester Stallone was spotted at Mar-a-Lago, which had people on social media talking about canceling him. So it's like,
I wouldn't be surprised.
so there are a lot of your favorite celebrities who are in a liberal media that vote Republican. And a lot of it they're looking at is from a fiscal standpoint. They're thinking they're getting these tax breaks. Oh, here's somebody who knows about money. Yeah, he knows about taking your money. He doesn't know about how to get the country in, steer them in the right direction fiscally. He knows about how to finagle and steal money and put it in offshore accounts for himself. That's what Trump was good at. Trump was good at stealing and scamming. That was his gag. And which is like what the whole thing with his recent campaign when he was trying to run for re-election. He was stealing people's money and people out here trying to get refunds and a whole bunch of other shit. Yeah, the man is a scam artist from his Trump University on down. I don't know why this is new news to y'all, but that's what it is. So yeah, moving right along. That we're done with that topic. So we basically just got a conclusion. Dwayne Johnson, we love you as a movie star, but as a politician, no ma'am.
Yeah, we're gonna get to these last couple of stories and wrap this show up. So we got Kid Cudi rocking a dress, honey. Yeah,
Which
so
had Black Twitter
what
up
do
in
you think
arms.
about that?
I know Black Twitter was up in arms about it, but who gives a fuck? You'll get over it. I think a lot of you need to focus on your own relationships, your own kids, and your own baby fathers, and stop worrying about what other people doing. A man wearing a dress, if he wants to wear one, that's his goddamn business. What it got to do with you? You ain't fucking Kid Cudi. Why are you mad? But the whole thing of the reason why people he wore the dress was to honor Kurt Cobain, who wore a similar dress and a sweater. I believe I forget what it was. It was at an event, or I believe it was at the MTV Awards, something or another. I remember the photo. I just don't remember exactly what it was for and why he did it. But I do remember that Kurt Cobain wore a dress. He was also a huge RuPaul fan, because I remember that Courtney Love revealed that. But he was paying homage to Kurt Cobain. Kurt Cobain is like one of my favorite singers from Nirvana. Like he was definitely an icon. I was definitely sad when as a kid when I heard he committed suicide. And he was just another one who went through depression, was a drug addict, that sort of thing. So, um, you know, Kurt Cobain is like one of the greatest rock stars of the 90s. I ain't gonna say of all time because there's many artists. I hate when people say of all time, but there's a lot of artists out there who are iconic in their own ways, and Kurt Cobain was one of them. So he just wanted to pay homage to Kurt Cobain. I don't understand why people can't look beyond something that makes them uncomfortable and understand why artists do what they do or what it is they're trying to say.
Yeah, I agree. I think it has a lot to do with just people and their feelings. But he looked dope in it. He performed, and I think that's all that matters the most. But yeah, I just Kid Cudi is someone who pushes the needle.
Mm-hmm.
And he listen. He is a prodigy of Kanye, so I would expect nothing but this from him.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna move on to the next story.
And and also, I should say, in the words of another great icon, Aretha Franklin, great gowns, beautiful gowns. But go ahead to the next topic.
I get with you.
I just had to throw that in there.
Oh wow. No, I really I didn't even think of that. Because we do a lot with that clip. Those that know that clip that dropped from Aretha Franklin, beautiful gown. Exactly, it was a beautiful gown, honey. Yeah. But yeah. So the next story here we got, guys, is basically something that you don't want to happen to you. If you guys saw that quick picture there, but so you ever ate cereal and found something that you didn't want to find, and this man here finds
like a roach.
something. Well, yeah, it looks like a roach. It's actually a piece of a shrimp tail that was not a cocktail, honey, a shrimp tail that was found in this man's a cereal box of cinnamon toast crunch, and yeah, so this story went around, and I was just like, what the hell? We love talking about this craziness stuff here. And so, first of all, Chris, what would you do?
First of all, ill. Second of all, I'm like, was somebody in the factory on the line eating shrimp while they were packing up the syrup? Like, how did the shrimp tails get in there? Number one. And yeah, I don't know what I would do if I was in that situation or any kind of, how like people be finding rats in their food and this, that, and the other. And we've heard so many stories about people finding things in their food and, hair and stuff. Hair is not so bad. You can always bring it back and get it done over. And that's why people should be wearing hair nets. But I don't know what I would do. I'd be pissed. I'd take it back to the store, be like, I need another box of cereal, a refund, something. I don't know. All I know is that's nasty.
I think I would lose my mind too. When I saw this story, I was like, wow, that's insane. But yeah, I don't know. I would, first of all, I would try to get my money back. But then I will also try to see if I can take action with the actual company, because like, what if you allergic to shellfish and you touching it and stuff on your pores may cause a allergic reaction? Like, you don't know. So there's a lot of things that you can use that to your benefit, if you will, selfishly. But yeah, I would be shocked though. I mean, and that's why this person did the picture, and like, just be careful what you eating, y'all, because you never know. But yeah, so there you have it. That's one of the most viral stories going around there. And then we have another story here. So there was a news story that broke. That those two right there are two favorites from Insecure. And so I saw this story. And
East St. Lawrence.
Yes. So basically, it looks like Insecure may be getting a spinoff.
With who?
Yes. So this story came out like literally today. Shout out to Pop Sugar. So Issa Rae teases the possibility of a spinoff, and we all know it's coming to an end. This is the final season,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm really sad about it. Are you sad about it, Chris? I think we're all just like collectively just waiting.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Insecure is a show that I love the show. There was a period where I missed like the last two seasons. So while this current season that just, the current season that passed, the one that I think it aired last year, right? I was playing catch up. So I was watching it because I missed the season before, and then because I didn't have HBO. Long damn story. All of a sudden now, like, I started getting a lot of the streaming services because I had transitioned from watching cable to a lot of streaming. And a lot of times when I was traveling with the circus, I didn't have time to really sit and watch a lot of TV because internet, that sort of thing. And plus, the way my hours were, there was no way that, you couldn't really get to watch a lot of shows and stuff where we were because of signal and all kinds of other stuff.
Oh, okay.
So I was playing a lot of cat, and then plus with me in LA and moving to LA, there was a lot that was going on within the past 2 years. So I didn't really. So I was playing a lot of catch up during quarantine. So I wound up getting HBO and through Hulu, and I started catching up on Insecure and just binge watching like the last couple of seasons, and it was one of the shows. Now I'm just rewatching all of Law and Order SVU. I'm on season 13 right now, which I saw was playing in the gym while I was working out yesterday. But anyway,
yeah, I'm definitely excited for it too.
I'm excited for this show. As far as a spinoff, I don't know. I'm like, what more story could they possibly tell? Like, and who would the spinoff be about?
Well, to that notion, here's the story here. Shout out to Pop Sugar once again. She sat down with Entertainment Tonight and she went on to say here about possibilities of a spinoff. She said there's a chance for everything. While she didn't reveal the other details, Ray said, Issa Rae that is, that there's currently pressure for a spinoff because the show is ending. However, she's happy where they've been able to take the show. I'm currently satisfied, so I hope that other people will be. We're not able to please, we will be not able to please everybody, but I'm happy. A premiere date season 5 hasn't been announced yet, so people are still waiting for the confirmation on that. But you never know, guys. I think if we keep demanding it, I think the spinoff could be about. There's something on YouTube. I forget the person that do it, but there's videos of like person put up a compilation of clips of each character and the character. What's her name? Gosh, Kelly, the friend Kelly. The black girl, the funny black. She's the comedian, I believe. Not the best friend, but the other friend. The black girl.
I know. She's basically she's a standout for me on the show.
Basically, yeah, her.
I think if they did a show with her, I'd be like, okay, I could see a show with her and then other people popping up in there, like Issa making a guest appearance or other people. Mm-hmm. But if they did a show surrounding her and what she's, and if they could work a show around her character, I'd be for that. But I'm trying to look at everybody else and it's like, Yvonne Orji's character is very polarizing. She worked my root canal nerve last season. How she was treating the Asian boyfriend, and then how she was towards Issa and how they pretty much grew apart. There were just there was a lot of characters on the show to me that was unlikable. So to me, Kelly is funny. She's likable. She's like the only one I think that on it that is not. I mean, she has a moments, but she's not as fucked up as the other characters.
Yeah, and it could be like the Kelly Diaries or something, like where we're following Kelly around. And I agree with you. Like I think
if there's another show that you could spin off within that show, then I'm all for it. But I feel like this whole scenario of Insecure, I feel like they've pretty much told as much story as they could possibly tell before people kind of get tired of these characters. And it's time for Issa Rae to stretch her, spread her wings and come up with something different.
So it's the same thing like Pose. It's time for them to grow and do.
Pose need another. I feel like Pose could have used another season or two.
Okay, fair. But we'll see. I'm here for.
We'll see how this all. We'll see how they handle season 3 before we can come to that determination on what they're going to do with Pose. But I do feel like Pose could have used. I would love to have seen a good 4 seasons or 5 seasons of Pose.
I agree. Uh, I would love to see Insecure, but I also think with Pose, because it definitely. I think another. I don't know about 2 seasons, but I
Maybe
just
one
think
more.
one more season would be definitely needed. And because right now I don't think 3 seasons is generally enough. I mean, we have no idea what they're doing in season 3 aside from what we got in the trailer, what they could fit in there. But it looks like they're going in more of I don't know what year, but obviously I don't think the crew are still together because they
I
left
think
it.
it's 95.
Oh, okay, okay. Um, but yeah, I just think that one more season to like collectively put it all together.
Hmm.
Because I forgot what show I was watching, but somebody said like, you know, if you watch something and only got 2 seasons or whatnot, like you can't really invest. So I think I somewhat agree to that. Like four seasons would be
That's
something that
true. It's
would
like
be.
Noah's Ark. Like Noah's Ark only got 2 seasons. And that's a show that needs to be revived. We already talked about Queer as Folk getting a revival over at Peacock. Where is Noah's Ark? Every show has pretty much revived. Y'all revived the L Word. Y'all reviving this. You revived Queer as Folk. Well, this will be their second reboot
Mhm.
or remake, reimagination. Um, and when we look at Noah's Ark, where's their revival? We just had GLAAD just now acknowledging them at the GLAAD Media Awards. So, the we need, just not to stretch on this conversation any longer, but
Right.
we need queer representation and queer content on TV, particularly people of color. Because while I love seeing, people like Issa Rae and Lena Waithe thriving in this industry and creating content that they relate to and that they want to talk about,
Mhm.
it's unfortunate. Oh, wait, we talking about the Tiffany Pollard thing too?
I agree. Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, we got that story here, drama at Maddie'ville, y'all, as we wrap up this messy show here. But yeah, so there is some drama going on at the World of Maddie'ville group. And this story is from Madame Noir, and T.S. Madison just wrapped up her final episode. I gotta catch up, but apparently
Yeah, I watched it. It was good.
it was
And I love
okay.
this. And I love the studio, by the way. I'm like, she pretty much has the same similar idea that I had. Like, I was like, I would love to have. Like, I remember when I was at my parents' house, and I was literally thinking this too, because they were thinking about passing it down to one of the kids and this and the other. And I'm just like, well, bitch, you can give it to me, and I will turn the basement into a studio. It's literally a thought that popped in my mind, and that popped in my mind eons ago when I did this other show that I was doing with some friends of mine that we only did one episode, and then we couldn't figure out how we can get the cameraman and everything to work, so it just never transpired. This is, I think, almost 10 years ago. It was called Celebrity Bullshit and More Shit. So that was the name of the show back in the day. I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere. But what happened? Oh, so we had basically, like, it was like The View. Like, we had the bar, and we sat behind the bar, and the bar was literally like, how the panel table that they have on all these talk shows. So we pretty much used that, and then I had my camera equipment that I used in film school, and we were using that to film the show, and all the equipment. So that was like me ahead of my time before everybody else started doing this. I just never fully continued with it. But anyway, talking about this, like, she and I are similar in so many ways, and I just think it's ridiculous because of what you were saying with this story with Madame Noir, that Tiffany Pollard's fiance won't let her film the T.S. Madison Experience, as well as other stuff. And the funny thing is, Tiffany Pollard is a producer on this show, so I don't understand why her fiance is coming between her and her money. So what did Madame Noir say?
Well, apparently this is like some just like little gossiping going around, but she was on T.S. Madison's show After Dark, and it goes on, says here, she story about she found the man during her I Love New York reunion special late last year. She won't reveal who he was, but then on the T.S. Madison Experience, After Dark, she goes on and says here, I'm so excited for you. You know, you're my bitch, you my girl. And she said, I'm not coming to your after dark show, Madison. Madison says, is this the man, girl? And in the confessional, Maddie tells her she shouldn't let a man make her lose her mojo, as you said. And then there's a clip about it too. So I just think it's something to add.
Mhm.
I think this is something that they were adding on, and Madame Noir wrote to it, and clearly here we are talking about it as the show is wrapped up, and she is the talking point. But I don't think it's any drama either. I think, you know, it maybe he had an issue with, you know, but she does go there after dark. But like you said, she's executive producer. She's making her coins, and you know, Tiffany. I think her man knows what she's doing.
I was gonna say that, like, to me,
So
it's
does
like if
Madame
you're
Noir.
someone who doesn't, I don't know I don't know who the man is. She hasn't revealed who the man is. I don't know if he was someone who was a reality star, if he's just, or is someone who just detests the business and has no interest in, in the entertainment industry at all, and that's great. But if my sole coin is, you know, if my source of income is me being, you know, raunchy and loud live and crazy and you know, a party girl, like, that's the image, but that's not who I am. I understand. It's like, yeah, I got a man, but I'm gonna still turn up because this is what y'all pay me to do. You know, I get to drink, I get to be on camera, I get to say silly, crazy stuff, and that's the end all be all. But I'm not gonna let some man come between me and what pays my bills, because if you're not going to pay my bills, you're not going to tell me what I can and cannot do in regards of how I get those bills. It's not like she out here doing porn. She's going on Madison's late night talk show and then talking about sex. Like, we all do it. We're all grown. So I don't see why, you know, it's a problem. So hopefully this is something that they wrapped up, and hopefully this is that, you know, Tiffany is not allowing this man to come between her and her money. That's all. So on that note, I guess we are done with the show, bitch.
Yes, we are done with the show. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is a wrap. We want to thank everyone for watching Wednesday Night Kiki. We will be back with new episodes as we wrap up this season. We have 2 more episodes left, full episodes, that is. And after that, we'll be doing little videos here or there. So make sure you follow us, and stay in check with what we have going down here at Wednesday Night Kiki. And as we said earlier, Chris, you are going to be doing it on the line next. So follow Chris at on his channels. And why isn't this working? There you go. And make sure you follow us Wednesday Night Kiki. But yeah, and we'll be back with all new stuff.
In the coming weeks.
I enjoyed today's episode. I think we got a lot taken, you know, a lot of conversation, but as we always do, we add the context to it, so it's always, you know, a good time. But yeah,
What he said.
thank you. All right, everyone. That is the show. Let me take this.
Yes. So until next time, sayonara, bitches.
Right.
Maybe that'll be my new tagline.
Sayonara.
Sayonara, bitches. I'm feeling like Sarah Michelle Gellar on the float in I Know What You Did Last Summer. Waiting for the fisherman to get me. Ben Willis.
Okay. All right, y'all. Bye. Oh, real quick,
What?
the video that we're ending with here is somebody who came on this show and he performed this song on our first episode and his single is currently out.
Liberace.
You guys can click the QR code. Yes, the one and only Riparachi. You guys can click the QR code or just follow him, type in him, you know, at Riparachi. But this track here is none other than Proud Boy Anthem. Yes, he's going there. And this is the official track of him performing it here, but he also has the video out and stuff. So I just wanted to put that out here. And also there's a special coupon for our Wednesday night Kikiers. So make sure you pay attention to this coupon code that you can go to trendupstore.com and support the store that Giovanni Centurioni has, the video that you saw within the show, and get an exclusive discount only from us here. Yeah. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.
I'm gonna play y'all this song called Proud Boys. Proud Boy Anthem. Proud Boys Anthem. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna drop it this week. But y'all know about what the Proud Boys shit. You got all types of shit about it. You got people trumping, saying they the Proud Boys. But I mean, I feel like I'm the real Proud Boy. Oh my gosh, no key. I'm the real proud boy, the real proud boy. Boot it up, been a damn cowboy. Baby, I'm annoyed. Stop playing with the boys. I'm the real proud boy, we the real proud boys. Boot it up, should have been a cowboy. Baby, I'm annoyed. Stop playing with the boys. Hey, what's up? I'm right. Let me tell you about my pride. Later, thought I was racist with this white. I don't play about mine, cause this ain't a PS5. Don't need IG to be live. It's coming from a real side. Right. Get the stripes, I got the stars. I don't swipe cards at the bars. I'm too proud to get my face. Oh wait, I know who you are. Yeah, you go hard like some tar. I don't smoke with no cigar. But they did like a guitar. Tatted a rainbow on my face. Yeah, I'm proud like Danny. Still got booked in 2020. You can't be a proud boy. You gotta be yourself. No, I'm the real proud boy. The real proud boy. Baby, I'm annoyed. Stop playing with the boys. What you got there? Where you going there?